It is looking white. So we had our painters in here over the weekend. They were priming. Got some paint samples. We've got some lights going in so we can actually review some stuff for our meetings tomorrow. But in the meantime, I am marking out slabs for backsplashes because we actually have to template our backsplashes ahead of time for the kitchen design. This one's easy. This one slab will go right on. But over in this area here, I got the whole slab laid out. It goes up into this area here, the focus, and this will have to be flush. So just with the design where we've got upper cabinets, we've got lower cabinets, and it's just gonna be weird with this big old lip because with our cabinets, this is the little bar area, we've got this little metal backsplash because we've got metal countertops. So this has to go on, our slab has to be flush for everything to work out. And not only that, we don't want to hide this like little brass detail with our slabs. So it'd be nicer to have this section flush. So that's how everything's set up. I'm gonna review tomorrow my receptacle height. So I got my center lines of where I want everything for all that, but I marked my countertop height. I went 3/4 down, reviewed where this line had to be, the edge of the countertop, running an arch slab up behind our cabinet a little bit. Same thing over here, behind the cabinet a little bit. And this actually lines out with some glass right there. So, nice little detail. Working on B-ramps, so we have hardwood getting delivered right now. Fortunately, it snowed, so it's middle of December, we're dealing with that. So we have been battling winter out here already. It's a little sloppy, but we got this footer dug out for our cobbled band. So we're gonna have another one down this side here next. Excavator is doing what he can. He's just digging out frost in certain areas. It's actually not bad down here. So we did down 18 inches from our finished driveway. We had 6 inches of stone, 6 inches of concrete, and then our cobble is set up for 6 inches. Getting the beam ramp up and the closure board. Getting our radius sections in, so we got bent laminated closure boards. We got our bent laminated beam wrap, bent laminated ridge. There's a long lead time for all this stuff. Even our soffit, we did PVC for all that with the PVC down. So hopefully we get an approval on a new grout sample to get these chimneys done. Kind of had to put a pause on grouting our cast stone because the color we had started lightening up a lot. So like even over here on this chimney, it's all raked back right now. So got a meeting later this afternoon, should have an approval on that. Guys are getting the slate. Good progress in the slate. There's sweeps in here where the radiuses and valleys.
John, did you clear up that?
Got some more cobble footers in. Those are pumping it. I got you. Keep things nice and straight. These are all the way down through here. Got everything dead center. So we are finally fired up on all of our geo units, which is awesome. Gave the guys a goal to get everything done before the end of this year. So that way we could be under our warranty. We've got our temp ducting running here, but we are all fired up with geos. Things are looking good. We gotta get a little bit of this mechanical room dusted, but they've got everything all fired up and ready. They ran the units and then turned them off right away. That way we just use our temporary conditioning throughout the project. Water furnace units. We've got our manifold wall with our pumps. Got our mixing valve, our main circulator pump, expansion tank, 2 lock and bar boilers, lock and bar indirect tanks, geothermal, indoor condensers, indoor air handler. Marking on hearth borders, so we've got a cool detail in several locations where we actually are going to have a 3.5-inch border with a little bow tie. So this here is the double-sided one. We're actually on this side right here. Over there is on the back side. Over there. Using the laser. I'm making sure I am centered on the doors, centered on that door, centered all the way down. And we've been doing this since day one, since our subfloor was set laying out these fireplaces. Hardwood started, so we got it protected with a ram board for now. It's all raw. We have a ripped and quartered white oak. Cool detail here in the foyer with the parquet, with the border and a brass detail. It's after the new year, so we are starting to prep now tile. In these areas we got hydronic, and then they're gonna do their wire over top of the hydronic heat. Got our wire down for the wet bed, and we got our drain set up here. So we are using the Noble drain. First time for me. So we had originally dropped our wet bed again in our showers because I'm used to the infinity drains. But these are basically a zero clearance. So just like your Schluter drains, but without having that fabric, they'll actually run it in. This is a little dusty right now, but they'll run their fabric all the way in. And it has like a trim that goes on here. But we got our heights all set up exactly where they need to be. I'm gonna get this thing glued and screwed down for them now that they're working on wet bed. I didn't want to glue these down until they got on site just to verify.
I'll get indication.
Trying to get this thing prepped for paving this week. Want to get some warmer weather. Got all of our concrete base in for our curbs. Normally you get the curbs in ahead of time, but we are still working on selection approval. We did have an approved selection originally all the way over there. Now it's getting changed to new mock-ups.
Our low state, where his steadfast love endures forever.
So these guys have been moving right along with our wet beds. It's got his pre-gauge in there. And then we have our hardwood material. We have our tile material on site. So that way we know our tile thicknesses. And that way they can get all these heights set up properly. And then one thing I always tell these guys, if they're getting tile in before, it's cool. But if hardwood's already in, I want to make sure things are sealed on the end. Actually, I want things sealed no matter what on the edge of the hardwood. Because if you're ever regrouting or grouting later, it can saturate in there. Even if the top's sealed, I've had to try and saturate from the side. So I like to seal the edges. A lot of homes don't get wet beds anymore, but love a good wet bed floor. We are basically prepped for paving. Guys might be back today getting some more areas rolled out. And we're gonna be paving tomorrow. But got a lot of modified in and rolled. Looks cool all lit up. Some orange paint out. So we are paving today. This is a tricky pave, so they pre-planned it. Paver of how they're gonna run things. We're gonna get this courtyard and then a whole other side of the driveway done today. See, I can see some more lines here. This is gonna be fun with the courtyards. And then we marked out where all of our cobble curb is. Since we're going through new mock-ups, we don't have a cobble in yet, but to be honest, it's nice because we got this base set up GPS for our heights, and then when they get their paving asphalt, we can make sure that the cobble curb and all that works out really good with our asphalt heights. But we're gonna go all the way out that way. We'll be into this area as well. And we'll finally get on-site parking again. I know the neighborhood hasn't been too happy, but Finally gonna get all this in. It's gonna be very nice. A nice sunrise. It's a mud fest everywhere else because it did warm up. Everything's all defrosted. And then we've even got a bunch of rain coming tomorrow, so we'll have to manage the mud on the new driveway. It's just base coat for now. Nice view from the window up here, the guy's working. And then the HVAC guys are wrapped up the radiant. 2 smaller bathrooms for his and hers, but this is the important thing right here. We got our floor sensor PEX. So you always want to have a floor sensor, and then it's nice to have the PEX, so that way the line can get, you put the sensor, fish it in there, and the sensor ever goes bad in the future, you can pull it out and put a new one in. I know some people like to put the sensor in after and all that, but I've always done it this way, and it's one of the better ways to do it. Got our radius. So we got some radius shower. Flush transition, so we'll have a threshold down here that'll be flush. And our drains on this side, so the floor will taper down.
I need to pull this back a little further. Box it in there. I have some more buckets in here.
Big day today. So we have 8 tractor trailers showing up with pipe. 5-foot diameter storm system pipe. Pretty freaking wild. Finials are on.
We're done with that,
We got one more finial, right?
Nope.
Yep. One more over here. Wild. So I think we got 2 more trucks. Some big pipes. All perforated for the storm system. They got to be real careful getting these things off because they're all banded. Make sure they don't fall off. All day. Basin, temporary basin down here right now, which this all gets filled in here, and then our permanent system goes all the way in over to there, and then tennis court over top. So they got a good amount of pipes down here now. We'll keep stacking them up. Our township that we are in requires these temporary basins, and you can see all the silt that's kind of washed in. And that way, since this whole property goes downhill, that way the stormwater stays on site and doesn't leave the property at all. It's gonna look nice when it's all wrapped up though. I think we'll call it on this one. Got a lot more stuff happening this week. It is right now Tuesday, but we're making great progress on things. It's middle of winter, but this weather got better. It's a little muddy, but it is what it is.